I grew up in a single parent family, and I watched my mom go back to school when I was in elementary school, and I watched her work uh, 8 to 9 hour days, and then she would drive herself to college, take a couple of classes, come home, study, all while raising two daughters on her own. When I graduated high school, I knew that college I had to go because I felt like I owed it to my mom. I was a theater major in college. I got a full ride scholarship. I always had this dream of going to Broadway or going to LA. And so my senior year, when I was still really trying to decide what I wanted to do, one of my professors said, we have some middle school students and some high school students coming in, and we're having this conference. You're going to help. I did a whole bunch of theater games with kids, and after everything was over, there was a little kid that came up to me and said, Miss Holly, that was the most fun I've ever had, and I felt so alive. And at that moment, it just kind of, whoa, it woke something in me. And after that, I became a theater teacher, and the rest is history. One of the things I learned early on is you have to create these beautiful relationships. If you want students to perform with you, they have to trust you. At my very first school I taught, I learned that a lot of these students need to hear the words, you can. You can do it. You can. Why can't you? I molded my career, keeping that in mind. So one day, my principal pulled me into his office and he said, our AVID teacher's retiring. You want to teach AVID? And I said, okay. And I didn't really know what I was getting into. And then I went to the very first Summer Institute, and boy, I was hooked. And it ended up changing my life forever.
When I began teaching AVID in 2011, I did not know that one decision I made would impact my life in so many amazing ways. As a theater major, I was surprised when our middle school principal pulled me in and asked me if I wanted to teach AVID. After I attended Summer Institute, I knew in my heart that I was going to love AVID, and AVID didn't disappoint. I moved to McAllen High School in 2017, and my life would forever be impacted by my Mackay AVID family in a way I could never imagine. They were a special group of students who began their high school career the same year as me, students that grew from shy introverts to campus leaders, valedictorians, salutatorians, college students, and volunteers to serve our country. Some have gone on to be entrepreneurs, mechanics, welders, and even Border Patrol agents. These students learn to manage their time using a digital or paper planner, to take amazing focus notes, advocate for themselves, and work hard to be college and career ready. Between rigorous AP and dual enrollment courses, CTE classes, and involvement in about every club or sport on campus, these students worked hard. They thrived off hard work and learned to work together and rely on each other. Watching them grow from shy, quiet freshmen to students that embodied everything about AVID made me proud in so many ways. AVID tutorials were never perfect and honestly could be quite loud. However, it was in the loudness that I knew that they were learning. We had created such a strong bond that I knew when they needed an impromptu campfire, and which in the AVID world is a safe place for students to work through problems, talk about accomplishments, and to relieve stress. We would even have impromptu study sessions, even on non-tutorial days. In those moments, it wasn't about the lesson I had wizardized and planned. It was about teaching students that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to verbalize that they were overwhelmed and needed guidance. Students learn more when they know that your classroom is a safe place to talk and work, and know that they will not be ridiculed, but uplifted by their peers and their teacher. In July of 2019, my entire world turned upside down. My husband, soulmate, best friend, and the father of my 3 amazing boys passed away very suddenly. My world was shattered. My family hurting, mourning the loss of their father, son, uncle, and friend. My AVID family, my beloved Mackay AVID family had me though. During the darkest time in my life, the entire campus held us up, prayed for us, made sure we were fed, and checked in on us. And those special students, those precious students and humans, came to support not only me, but my entire family. Students ensured my boys knew that they had people to talk to help them, and to mentor them. Offers to mow the grass, clean the car, take the boys to the park flooded my inbox. One day, I was called over to the AVID 3 class, and when I walked in, my heart stopped. In chorus, they yelled, "We love you, Mrs. D," and proceeded to stand in line to hug me one by one. I was shook. These students knew just what I needed that day. My 10th graders were not to be outdone, however. One week, they weren't. One week, I was really stressed out, and as much as I tried to self-regulate, my students saw and felt my stress. They bought breakfast, got me flowers, chocolate, and planned to play all my favorite AVID Fun Friday activities. Gotta love spoons. My students went above and beyond. They took control of the lesson, and in doing so, taught me a much greater lesson. Being an AVID elective teacher taught me that sometimes it's not just about those perfect grades or the perfectly wizardized lesson plan. It's about how you get there. It's the relationships you form, the mistakes you make, and how you learn from those mistakes and grow as a person. It's about learning to maneuver through life and keep fighting, even when you want to just hide under the covers and give up. My 3 boys and my AVID student were my why. They were why I made it through one of the darkest times and fought to finish my master's degree. I knew I needed to set an example for them. I worked hard to show my students and my boys my determination to be strong and finish. I knew that I had to show my students that the skills that they were learning from the AVID elective would indeed help them. And let me tell you, because of the focus notes and the study skills I learned from teaching the AVID elective, I was able to maintain my 4.0 while in grad school. In March of 2020, the global pandemic changed education in a way we could never imagine. Teaching from home had its challenges: Wi-Fi outages, meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. Figuring out lessons to try to engage learners, remembering if we were asynchronous or synchronous. But most of all, hoping for engagement from students. I felt like I lived in front of my computer screen, trying to maintain my family, teaching, and grad school while locked inside my home was not always easy. However, I always look forward to synchronized days so I could see the kids. Okay, wait, let me rephrase that. So I could talk to little dots with names, and maybe a picture if I got lucky. But when they mic'd on, it was magic. We would learn, talk, laugh, catch up, and even grieve together. We grieved for the loss of family, social interaction, and even school. During shutdown, even when they didn't have to, the class of 2021 did. They kept working hard. Those same AVID students graduated top of their class, including valedictorian and salutatorian. Many were in the top 20% of their class, and they earned millions in scholarships. It's hard for me to name just one student who made an impact when every single one of my AVID students impacted me in a way I will forever be grateful for. AVID gave me the courage and skills and the knowledge I needed to become a campus leader and an AVID staff developer. The impact AVID has had on me is evident in my passion to ensure that all students close the opportunity gap. If students are given the skills and the opportunity to be successful, they will. AVID has made me a stronger mother, teacher, administrator, and human. Although I am no longer in the classroom as a teacher, I still work very closely with our Mackay AVID team to ensure our students have the skills they will need in order to be college and career ready. I've learned that students who say I can't have never been shown they can. And it's our job as educators to ensure that they know that they can. Educators, if you take one thing away from today, remember this. Even in the darkest of times, there is light. Let your students be that light. Sometimes the lessons that need to be learned are lessons our students can teach us. And students, remember that even in our worst moments, there are people who are here to help guide and support you. Don't be afraid to ask for guidance and self-advocate for what you need. I'm going to close with a phrase my late husband, Mario, would say to our oldest son, Mario Aiden. Sorry. And this is for all three of my boys. I don't care what you do in life, but remember, education is the key to opening doors. Keep learning. Knowledge is power. Be passionate, be driven, be focused, and whatever you do, be greater than the best. Be you. Thank you.